Quality is good. Thank you, brother. How are you? How are you doing today? It's good to hear from you.
Not too bad, thanks. It is it's busy, but it's been all good. Lots of kind of stuff going on at the moment, which is good. Lots of things we're trying to get out. But yeah, other than that, it's been good. Nice to see the rate cut by the Fed. Hopefully, once we get the elections out of the way, everything can go back to rallying properly.
I just want, I mean, is it so hard to ask just for everything to just 100x in the next 3 months? I feel like
I know.
it's such an easy thing for the US, for the International World Bank to do, but hey, who am I?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be my favorite if they could do that with my stable coins. They get 100x my USDC. That would be. I'd really appreciate that.
I'll just at that point. All right. So let's just dive right in. I mean, I know it is near the end of the week. Everyone's getting settled in. Token 2049 is going on. Shout out to anyone who is over at Token 2049. But today we have, of course, the best to ever do it, Mr. Refractor here. And for those of you who don't know what Prism is, Ali, do you want to give them a little insight into what is Prism and what have you been working on lately? We have a few different campaigns as well as a few different liquid staking tools people can use. You want to go into a little detail?
Yeah. So Prism is, we would say, a layer one blockchain completely dedicated to yield and everything that you can kind of like do with yield. And the main things that we create and manage are liquid staking tokens, and then we tokenize future yields. So we allow you to deposit a liquid staking token into Prism, and you can trade or tokenize your rights to the future yield on that liquid staking token for a period of time. And kind of like the analogy that we've been giving to kind of understand, like the core concept behind Prism is, imagine you deposit $100 into a bank account that earns 10% interest per year. When you deposit the money, the bank gives to you one receipt token, which we'll call a liquid stake token worth $100. So you deposit $100 and you receive a liquid receipt token, which gives you, which is worth $100, and that gives you your right to the original $100 that you deposited, plus the interest it earns up until the point where you come to redeem it. So if you keep that liquid staking token, that liquid receipt token for a whole year, it's going to be worth $110 because you've earned 10% interest on your $100 in the bank account. And the good thing about that receipt token is it can be transferred and traded at any time without going to the bank. So I can give that receipt token to you, and you can go to the bank and redeem the $100 plus any accrued interest, or you can swap it or sell it. Now, what happens with Prism is you can deposit that liquid receipt token into Prism and receive in exchange two new tokens. One is called a yield token, and the other is called a principal token. And you select a maturity date for those tokens when you will get back the liquid stake token, the liquid receipt token that you deposited. The yield token will give you all the interest earned by the liquid stake token until maturity. And the principal token is going to give you the right to go and redeem your original $100 at maturity. So at the end of each year, each liquid stake token, as we said, the receipt token is going to be worth $110. And the yield token holder is going to receive $10 worth of the receipt token that was originally deposited by you into Prism. And the principal token holder is going to be able to redeem the $100, the remaining $100 worth of liquid stake token. So it's kind of the depositing of liquid stake token is and to get the yield token and the principal token is kind of like the main thing that that Prism does, and we create a marketplace where you can then trade those, because the market decides what is the fair value of those and gives you the opportunity to buy or sell. So if you're expecting to earn 10% interest on $100 over the next year, and your yield token's going to get that, then you might say, well, I'll pay you $9 now for a yield token that's expecting to give me $10 of yield over the next year. And if you paid $9 for that token, then that means that someone else has to pay $100 minus 9, so $91 for the principal token, which gives them the right to redeem back $100 in a year. So the market decides the price of these tokens, and you can sell your right to future yield, buy exposure to future yield. You can buy the right to get that $100 back at a discount. So lots of different opportunities for you there, and that's sort of what Prism does with any liquid stake token. So things like Atom or Injective, or will be ETH in the future, or Celestia, or Osmo, or anything really. And so Prism's permissionless, so any liquid staking token can be deposited in there. So that's kind of like the high level view of what Prism does. It gives you loads more flexibility on on how to get exposure to yield and what your particular trading strategy.
So if this, with all these various ways to actually implement into the ecosystem, we've recently had a few different launches, such as cATOM and dATOM. How do those factor into the Prism ecosystem?
Yeah, so those are just different liquid stake tokens that can get deposited into Prism. So they come with similarities and so different features and benefits. So dATOM is a liquid stake token created by the Drop.money team. It's a liquid staked version of Atom. So someone deposits some Atom into Drop, and they receive a liquid stake token in return, and that means that their liquid stake token allows them to redeem back their original Atom that they deposited, plus any interest that Atom has earned, or staking rewards that Atom has earned. And the exciting thing with Drop is that they're doing a points campaign. So by holding dATOM, their liquid staking token, you can earn droplets. And if you use that dATOM in certain DeFi protocols or blockchains, you can you can earn kind of like droplets multipliers, so more droplets if you actually go and use the dATOM. And where that's relevant for Prism is if you bring your dATOM over to Prism and you use it to provide liquidity in the what we call the dATOM boost liquidity pool, then you earn a droplets multiplier, like a 10x droplets multiplier it is. So it's one of the kind of like most lucrative ways to earn dATOM yield, earn droplets. And then also, if you hold one of the yield tokens for dATOM, then you're also going to earn a significant amount of droplets, and the droplets are based on. So for each one dATOM you hold, you are going to earn the droplets of one. Each dATOM yield token you hold, you're going to earn the droplets of one the dATOM liquid stake token multiplied by 10. And so you're getting a big kind of leveraged benefit there to droplets if that's what you want to do. So that's kind of like why those things are relevant to Prism, and there should be lots more campaigns coming up in the future where people can earn points, and to Drop.money is the first one. There will be a Prism campaign starting shortly where we launch which we're using to launch the Prism token, and you're going to be able to earn photons by holding liquidity pool tokens or yield tokens, and so those are kind of like the main things that you can do, and how it gives you exposure to earning kind of like extra tokens.
with all that exposure, I mean, this is actually a really, I mean, you even said it's a really lucrative way for people to be able to benefit in the ecosystem. How did this partnership with Drop come to be? Like, what was the conversations, and how do we get to the point where this being the like biggest way that people can, one of the biggest ways that people could benefit from the ecosystem itself?
Yeah, it's a case of it is a case of we know that we know the Drop team, and you speak to them, and they've kind of like seen how well this is done on Ethereum, where points markets are a bit more evolved on Ethereum, and so they want to kind of leverage off that opportunity on Prism, basically. So yeah, so it's for them it works really well because it will increase the usability of their dATOM liquid stake token. And so it's it's a good opportunity for them to grow the TVL of their product and also kind of like generate more users for Prism as well.
One thing I know that one thing I know that people have been asking a lot about this week, and I don't know if you have the ability to show, is how they could potentially convert, their C atom into D atom, or even just utilize it and do this on the back end. Would you be able to show, like, give people a firsthand showing of how to do it themselves?
Yeah, let me share my screen.
No problem.
Um,
And guys, if there is anything in the meantime, while Mr. Refractor shows is getting ready to share his screen, if there's anything you guys are curious about as far as like how to do something in the ecosystem, please feel free to write a comment. We're happy to. I'm sure Mr. Refractor would be very happy to show you guys easily what and how to do something, or even explain something that may be a little too a little unclear for you, because I understand it can get very technical, it can be somewhat difficult, but we are putting out as many YouTube guides as we can for you guys to be able to participate in and understand.
yeah, so can you see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So basically there's like this these are the tokens you need to hold. So you go to the maturities page, click on dATOM, and over here on Prism, you can either hold the dATOM Boost, which is a liquidity pool token, and you will earn 10x droplets based on the amount of dATOM that's in the liquidity pool, or you can hold any of these three tokens, and you're going to earn droplets based as if you held one dATOM. So say, for example, dATOM here is worth $4.61. So each dATOM is earning 4.61 droplets per day multiplied by 10. So each dATOM is earning 46 droplets a day in Prism. And here, if you hold one Y dATOM, that is also earning you 46 droplets. But if I wanted to hold this, I'd have to spend $4.61 on it. Whereas on this, I actually only have to spend 0.58 of a dollar on it. So I'm earning 46 droplets here by only spending 0.58 of a dollar. Here I'm having to spend $4.61 to earn the same 46 droplets. So this gives you a really big leveraged exposure to droplets. So you're getting the Prism 10x multiplier, and then this is nearly a tenth of that, a tenth of the price of dATOM. So you're nearly getting a 100x multiplier on your droplets here by holding the dATOM yield token. And the other thing with this dATOM yield token is you also earn the underlying yield of Atom, which means Atom's earning currently 16.71%. A dATOM liquid stake token is earning this much yield. That yield gets paid out to you as a Y dATOM holder. Now, what you have to do once you've bought some Y dATOM is head over to the portfolio page. I haven't connected my wallet here, but you're given the option to stake your yield token, and that's why you just need to stake this token once you own it. So that's either of these three tokens. And down here, we've moved the FAQ now. We did have it over the side here. We've moved it here so that you can quickly click here and see what is a yield token, what is a maturity, what's a principal token. So we kind of put this information for you here. But the big one, this one here is the dATOM Boost Pool token. And so you have a couple of different options to try and mint it. The first thing you need to do is deposit some Atom or dATOM over to Prism. You can easily do that. This uses Skip. You can see here. So you can do this directly on our webpage here, or you can use Skip. But for example, if you have Atom on the Cosmos Hub and you wanted dATOM on Prism, you would just go here. You see you've got Atom on the Cosmos Hub, you've got Prism, you want to select dATOM. And you want to do 100 Atom and dATOM. This actually finds you the best route. And here it's kind of found a profitable route here. And it basically will do a swap for you. It's finding the best route. And then you can actually just connect your wallet here, and what's going to happen in the background is your Atom is going to, on the Cosmos Hub, is going to get swapped for some dATOM, and then it's going to get sent over to Prism. And so that's the first step to kind of like getting dATOM over to Prism. And you can do that with any token. You could do with USDC if you wanted, and Skip will find you the best route to do that. And so once you have Atom, you need some Atom and some dATOM on Prism to mint the dATOM Boost Pool token. You will then go to pools. You will then go search for dATOM, and this is the token that we want to mint to be earning the extra droplets. This is the liquidity pool token. And this liquidity pool contains Atom and the dATOM yield LP token. So we can easily transfer Atom over to Prism, but we need to get some of this dATOM yield token. Now, the easiest way to do that is come here, select the dATOM yield pool, and then I will just take the dATOM that I transferred over to Prism, and I'm going to use this zero impact join. And this is going to mint me some dATOM yield pool token. So the yield pool token will be in my wallet and show in my portfolio after I do this. So I will then just click provide liquidity using the zero price impact mode. And then in my wallet, I'll be left with the dATOM yield pool token and some Atom token. Zero price impact mode, sometimes when you provide liquidity to a pool, if I was just providing here, like if I just did multi and provided here, what actually would happen is it would do swaps in the underlying pool to swap some of my dATOM that I put into the pool into principal Atom, these three different principal dATOM tokens. And you end up paying a little bit of price impact there. Whereas with this zero price impact, what happens is in the background, it takes a small amount of your dATOM that you're putting in and actually uses the splitting or refracting feature of Prism to refract that dATOM into Atom principal and Atom yield tokens. So you don't have any price impact. There's no swapping that happens. But what that does mean is because you're splitting some dATOM, you're left over with some a small amount of Atom yield tokens, which you can then either swap yourself or not, or you can actually stake and start earning the massive droplets multiplier. But once you do the zero price impact join here, make sure that you head over to the portfolio page, check out that you have the dATOM yield pool token in your portfolio, and also just stake your Atom yield tokens. So that's it. It's one click here with dATOM to mint the dATOM yield pool token. So one very simple click, and then once you've done that, you own the dATOM yield pool token and you own some Atom on Prism, and then you would just come over here and deposit your atom and your dATOM yield token into the liquidity pool, and then that's it. You're earning droplets. Here, make sure to click optimize, because it will make sure that you provide liquidity in exactly this weighting: 10% atom and 90% dATOM yield. And then once you've done it in that weighting, that means that there's no underlying swaps that happen when you deposit your tokens into the liquidity pool. And then one thing we should touch on as well is, like, not only are you obviously earning droplets, but you're also earning a very high yield here. And what this yield is you're getting incentives, so swap fee APR. So anytime someone does a swap in this liquidity pool, they pay you fees, and internal APR, so 23.7%. So that means that the underlying assets in the liquidity pool are actually earning yield themselves. So if I deposit a liquid stake token into a liquidity pool, that liquid stake token is increasing in value over time, because the liquid stake token, as we discussed at the start of the call, represents your original deposit plus any accrued yield. So in this particular case, you own the dATOM. Atom doesn't have any yield associated with it, but the dATOM yield pool token does have yield associated with it. And that is because the dATOM yield pool token contains all of these assets. And so dATOM is a liquid stake token that's earning, what we saw earlier, something like 17% yield. And then each dATOM principal token is also earning yield, because you're effectively buying it at a big discount versus Atom. And you can see that here on the maturities page. At maturity, one dATOM principal token here can be redeemed for 1 atom's worth of the original deposit of 1 atom's worth of liquid stake tokens. So that means that I can spend 0.88 atom now, and I know that at maturity, I'm going to receive 1 atom's worth of dATOM. So I spend 0.88 atom now to get 1 atom at maturity. So that kind of is where your yield comes from the principal token. And because you're buying atom at a discount, that means that it's actually like a fixed yield or a guaranteed yield, because you buy this at 0.88, you know it's going to be redeemable for 1 atom's worth of value at maturity. So that's where you get this internal APR number for these for a pool like this. So it's a weighted average of the tokens that are in the liquidity pool. That is an absolute truckload of information. So hopefully it makes some sense.
Definitely makes sense. I feel like a lot of the people who are here have been utilizing the Prism DApp, and I think it's interesting to see, just truly how much people can, really benefit off of it. I mean, we've had a significant amount of people utilizing it, and I know we have a lot more coming. We have a lot more coming towards the end of the month, as well as in the next couple months. Can you give people a little bit of insight into what they can, any upgrades or anything they can anticipate as we move into quarter 4?
Yeah, we are going to, so main focus is this drop campaign, providing an easier kind of user experience for people, and also providing a dashboard for people so that they can see how many droplets they're earning per day, like an estimate of how many droplets they're earning per day. And then we're also focusing on our launch campaign, so our kind of early user campaign to reward early users on Prism. So that's kind of like liquidity providers here. That'll be probably liquidity providers for these pools that all have very high yields at the moment, and these are real yields. And then so we'll be doing that. And then Celestia just did their upgrade, so we'll be adding Celestia natively to Prism very shortly. And so those kind of like the key focuses at the moment: improve usability and user experience and kind of information that users have for the droplets campaign and all the future campaigns, and then also to launch our own what we're calling kind of photons campaign. So yeah, so we're excited about that. I mean, it's I can share my, let me just share my screen again, because it is getting silly on some of these yields at the moment. One thing I should, one exciting opportunity coming up actually. Sorry, it's just giving me this, saying it's a second there to share my screen. One exciting opportunity to come up that I don't think people are super aware of is that the first maturity is about to happen for a lot of the assets. So that's the September maturity, which is in 11 days at the end of September. Now, what happens in the liquidity pool is the liquidity pool, I guess like the algorithm or formula, the way the liquidity pool works is it will remove expired maturities, so maturities that have reached, have expired. I say, like, I think I'm shared now, so I think I can show. Hopefully that's working.
Still loading,
yeah,
but
so
it looks like you can see your screen.
Okay, cool. So basically what happens is you have these maturities that are in 11 days, like this one here. Same with dATOM, same with Luna, same with Osmo. If we look at dATOM as an example, so this maturity in 11 days is going to be redeemable for 1 atom's worth of paid in liquid state token. So like effectively the original deposit value of the liquid state token. So 0.96 atom is going to become 1 atom in 11 days. So that's already kind of like a crazy return, because you're earning 0.04 of an atom in 11 days. As we get close to maturity, the process that happens is the liquidity pool actually auctions off this P atom. And this happens in a sort of reverse Dutch auction, or kind of like liquidity bootstrapping pool type way, where the price of this token will slowly get decreased until it gets completely sucked out of the pool, like everyone arbitrages away the price of this token. And so this is going to provide a great opportunity, like it already is providing a great opportunity, like an annualized yield of 199% here if people buy it. Sorry, let me just shut down my. But they're already kind of like providing an annualized maturity there, and then this is going to get arbitraged away, because the price, there's going to effectively be an auction here. So this means after maturity, you're just going to be able to buy this token and instantly redeem it for 1 C atom's worth of value. And so what I would say to people on this call is, over the next, as we get very close, like a day or two before maturity, have a look at this one, because it's going to give you the opportunity to buy this token super cheap compared to being able to instantly redeem it for C atom after maturity. And then after the maturity, this token will still be in the liquidity pool until it's completely removed by arbitragers. And arbitragers basically buy this token and redeem it for C atom instantly, and then they can repeat the process like instantly there. So it's going to be a great arbitrage opportunity for people that are on this call now, and that's for this one. Osmo, anything with the set 2024 maturity. Cool.
It's funny because before you went into the before you started talking about the maturity, and it's funny, now that I realize the maturity is coming up, I have to make some plans to buy. And you brought up the Celestia upgrade, and it's something that I've been personally looking at very closely. I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. How do you think it's going to affect the overall ecosystem, and what do you think the possibilities are now that we've finally had the lemongrass upgrade?
It's Celestia is just another IBC connected chain that has an interesting yield associated with it. Like Celestia is 1.4 billion market cap, so it's kind of like Cosmos is 1.7, Injectives 2. So Celestia is of IBC connected chains, I think that puts Celestia at active IBC selected chains. I think that puts Celestia at number 3. So it's like it's a big opportunity from that perspective, and a big market cap token that people can trade. It has a high-ish yield to it. I think the yield on it's around 9% or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting token for people to speculate and kind of trade yield on. So that's why we're excited for it to happen. Like, things like Luna and Osmo have high yields, but have much smaller market caps, whereas Celestia has quite high trading volume, a reasonable yield associated with it, and a high market cap. So I think that's going to be an interesting opportunity. And what their upgrade has done is, which is relevant for us, is it's included something in the upgrade called interchain accounts. What is an interchain account? An interchain account means that the Prism blockchain can control a wallet address on Celestia. So the Prism blockchain can effectively send Celestia tokens or tier tokens over to Celestia and stake those tokens and claim staking rewards and vote on proposals and do stuff like that. So that means like it's a super decentralized way of launching a liquid stake token. Whereas the problem at the moment with liquid staking tokens on Celestia before this is a wallet address had to get set up on Celestia by a multi-sig account. That multi-sig controls all of the funds that are deposited into that wallet address on Celestia. And then liquid staking tokens are issued against that wallet address controlled by the multi-sig. So it's kind of like a way less decentralized, sort of higher risk way of doing things. Whereas, so we initially had built that solution just because it was kind of like the only option, and that's kind of like the way that Stride launched as well. And then we kind of like thought to ourselves, well, look, this is going to be a problem because we don't want to launch with a multi-sig. We don't want to launch with a kind of like slightly more centralized way of doing things. And also, we haven't launched it now, but Prism allows you to vote in governance proposals if you hold a liquid stake token or a principal token. And with this kind of like multi-sig structure, you're not able to do that because the Prism blockchain wouldn't be able to send a message to say vote on this proposal. It would rely on a manual voting or some sort of bot getting set up to like implement the voting. But again, that ends up being very centralized. So it's big for Prism because it means everything can be controlled by the Prism blockchain without needing to put funds in some sort of trusted multi-sig and have multi-sig execute actions for you.
That sounds amazing, honestly. But I have 2 follow-up questions to that. One is, would the voting be handled on the Prism dApp itself? And
go for both of them, and then I can answer them if I can remember.
Do you have any concerns of it not being? I know some people always are concerned about the non-multi-sigs side of this. Just I do get the necessity and understand and personally prefer there not being a multi-sig for it. But do you think that this way of doing things with the non-multi-sig opens up Prism for any security issues, or do you guys feel like you have that fully under control and really it's not a concern for you guys since you are running the operating blockchain itself?
Well, so the reason for not doing the multi-sigs is just because it's much more secure. You're not relying on a trusted multi-sig. You don't really know who's on the multi-sig. Like they could say that it's 5 distinct people, and 5 distinct people might have the keys to the multi-sig, and each of them might attest to that. But one person might have given the keys to the other people, or have access, another person might have access to the keys. So in reality, if someone says it's a 5-person multi-sig, is it actually a 5-person multi-sig, or does one person control more than that wallet addresses? So it's a really big trust exercise and security issue with the multi-sig. So it's like trying to solve to beat that actually isn't that hard. And then just because it's bad, they are so bad. And then with Prism, ultimately, like if a transaction wants to get included on Prism's blockchain, it has to get put into the mempool. Validators have to include it in the block, and so we kind of like have 25 odd validators that have to approve a transaction to be included in the block. We have things like rate limiting. We've been audited, so it's kind of like if you're trusting the Prism blockchain, then it's just the Prism blockchain doing these transactions. So that's kind of like the way that we look at it. Like there's no multi-sig, no trusted third party that's separate to the Prism blockchain. It's just the actual Prism blockchain itself that is sending a transaction to its wallet on Celestia that is owned by the Prism blockchain, saying, stake some tokens for me. All right, collect my staking rewards. All right, vote on this proposal. So that's kind of like so that's the way it works. So so from a security risk, it's like much more secure. I think Stride, to be fair, wrote some. I think they wanted to get their Celestia liquid staking token out soon. As quickly as possible after Celestia launched. And I think they were pretty transparent about the security risks of not issuing LSTs using interchain accounts and actually using multi-sigs. And I think Stride were one of the big advocates for Celestia including interchain accounts, and Stride, I think, actually even wrote the community improvement proposal on Celestia to implement interchain accounts. And I think Stride are going to be transferring the assets that are in the multi-sig over to a sort of Celestia, a Stride controlled, Stride blockchain controlled interchain account on Celestia. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it because the underlying assets that are in the multi-sig are actually staked at the moment. So I don't know how you can transfer staked assets over to an interchain account. But I think Stride will be moving to, have said that they're going to move over to the more secure interchain account model as well. It's frustrating that other blockchains don't have these kind of like features, like Say Network doesn't have it. Thorchain doesn't even have IBC. Like some of these like Apex chains could be a lot more integrated if they wanted to be. And also, it's also a pain that only the Cosmos Hub has the liquid staking module, which means you can go instantly from dATOM you have delegated on the hub to a liquid stake token, whereas you can't do that with Celestia or Inject or anywhere else because they haven't integrated the liquid staking module. But that's a separate conversation.
It's funny because I could go on and on about these respective networks, honestly, and these IBCs, but we'll end up going over time, and I really don't want to open up a can of worms that could potentially.
Exactly.
But speaking, there is a great question though. Herb Dragon in the chat has asked, you were talking about the upcoming maturities and the pATOMs on the 30th September. When I simulate a swap for pATOM 30th September, I do see that you get 1.029 pATOM for one atom. This does include an Arb opportunity from the atom to cATOM, if I'm correct. Do you have an easy way to separate the last Arb from the P token to arbitrage yield, if this makes sense?
That's sort of makes sense. Herb Dragon, why don't you I can invite you up to speak if you want, and then you can ask like that, if that's all right. And let's invite you up. just so I can fully understand the question, if that works. If you're somewhere where you can't speak, then don't worry. You can clarify in the chat. As my understanding, you're saying that you can buy 1.029 for atom p atom. Does this include the ARB opportunity from atom to c atom? If I'm correct. There we go. You're up. Okay, cool. Hit me if you're on mute, but hopefully that works.
Feel free to unmute yourself. I know you gotta. You mentioned that you have to change your permission. Yeah, I'm curious too.
So, does this work?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hello, nice to speak to you.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm on my lunch break, so I thought I'd just hop into this Discord stage and see what's going on. So basically, what I'm wondering is, I think the yields that are set for the P tokens sometimes also includes ARB opportunities from atom to the C atom token. I'm not sure if that's correct, but for example, now you see on the maturities page, you see 0.96 atom for the P atom price. And when you like simulate a swap going from one atom to one P atom 30 September, you see you get 1.03 back. But I'm wondering how much.
I'm sharing my screen here just so you can, just in case that's helpful.
Yeah, that's good. And can you go to the atom maturities? Yeah, so in this case, the 200% yield is calculated basically if you now swap one atom to one P atom, right?
Yeah, exactly. You swap one atom here to one P atom, you're going to get an extra 2.3%, call it, basically. And this is after fees, so a swap fee and a small price impact.
Exactly, and my point is that I think much of this extra P atom you're getting is from the ARB opportunity that it is between atom and C atom, because to get from atom to P atom, you swap through C atom, or at least the yield pool, I think. And if you
can do
simulate to C atom, you see that you get 0.978, while I think the actual ratio is like 0.96 now, I think.
So 0.978, and then if I go to the liquid staking page,
you moved it, so you have to search now where it is.
If I go to the liquid staking page here, and I go like that, one of these is going to give me 0.956. So yeah, so I get slightly more. I get slightly more C atom if I do a swap, rather than say 0.956 there, versus swapping one atom to C atom here. One is going to give me 0.978. It's basically saying so yes. So there's an arbitrage, as you say. There's an arbitrage between atom and C atom here, because you're getting more atom by doing that than you would if you minted C atom as a liquid stake token. It's cheaper to buy it.
Exactly, and I think mostly my point is that it's important for people to realize that that there are two ways to look at this. So if you already have C atom, then there's not necessarily a very high yield at the moment to get P atom, because most of it is coming from atom to C atom or to that ARB opportunity, which is fine. But I think it's important to realize when you try to trade these things.
Yeah, exactly. So you're getting so you should monitor this when you're deciding which arbitrage to do, heading to the maturities page and deciding basically, do I want to increase my atom value by swapping atom to C atom if there's kind of like a good arbitrage there? Or do I want to increase my atom value by swapping to my atom to P atom? Or is there actually an arbitrage by swapping C atom to P atom here? And so those are kind of the things like what happens at maturity is this price will get lowered by the AMM. This price will forcibly get lowered by the AMM as you approach maturity until the arbitrage completely gets removed. So people buy this token, they will mint C atom with this token, and then they'll go and repeat the process. So that's kind of like what will happen in maturity. But yeah, exactly. Like I think a lot of people have just been focused on like basic C atom arbitrage, whereas actually like when you're deciding to do an arbitrage, you can decide whether you want to swap atom to C atom or swap atom to P atom, and look at what's going to give you the kind of like biggest return over the time period. But I completely agree with you. Some of that arbitrage comes from C atom being at a lower price than atom itself.
Yeah,
I think we've got atom here at 447 and C atom at 453. Yeah. And there's also, to be honest, there's also an arbitrage between the atom boost pool. How much atom boost pool you're getting, whether you minted the atom boost token or whether you actually go and swap and buy the atom boost token. So there's tons of different arbitrage you can do, which happens when you create derivatives like all of these tokens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these 8 tokens are all derivatives of atom. And so they all have the opportunity to arbitrage between atom and these tokens and potentially each other. So there's lots of different opportunities. And yeah, you should look at, is it better to do C atom? Is it better to do P atom, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey for sure to look at how to determine all these types of arbitrage and see what's going on at the moment. But it's real fun.
Yeah, and then so basically that's it. We got a question from Jude. So yeah, in terms of, we got to get the airdrop one. So like in terms of airdrop, like completely fair enough for people that are delegating to Prism's validator. Like you guys have, people that have been delegating to Prism's validator have been supporting us. Some people for a long time, which has kind of been really helpful in making Prism a reality. To kind of like make the point I've. You guys are like effectively like Prism's VCs. Like we haven't taken any private capital. So, with VCs, sometimes you have, 3 years before the product even goes live, and then you have like another 2-year vesting period after that on some things, and that could be smaller or larger depending on the product. Like with us, what we're going to do is we're not going to do any vesting period for people that have been delegating and supporting us. And so your token will go live as soon as the Prism token itself goes live. And that's estimated, that's after the points campaign. There'll be like extra bonuses for people that participate in the points campaign and, are still delegating or providing liquidity and that kind of stuff. But for like just basic delegating to Prism's validator, it'll be after the points campaign, and the points campaign will probably last, 2 months or something like that. But yeah, I'd like to appreciate everyone's support who has been delegating. So that is the airdrop question, which obviously I think definitely I think is a valid question. So I appreciate you asking.
All right.
Cool. And then has anyone else got any questions that or anything else that would be helpful for us to run through in the final minutes?
Really glad, I just want to, shout out Herb Dragon real quick. Great question, great explanation. I think it was definitely needed in many regards to get that clarity, and I think it will help especially for this. Guys, remember this call was recorded. And if you guys do have any questions, or if you see anyone later in the chats who are curious about how the AMA will have the recording up as soon as possible, and it will be viable for users to see. Doesn't look like there's any more questions. Mr. Fractor, any last things you want to mention to the community before we head out this week? I think it was a really good AMA today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. As you say, this recorded. We want people to earn as many droplets and photons as possible. Everyone that tunes into these kind of like AMAs obviously is definitely one or more steps ahead of the curve. So I appreciate everyone taking the time to do it. And yeah, if you've got any questions, let us know in Discord or Telegram. Like, we want to make this, this is a new product doing new things that people might not be familiar with. So we want to take on as much community feedback as possible into how to improve it and make it more understandable for them. So if anyone's got any suggestions, please do let us know. And if you've got any questions, please let us know. But other than that, thanks very much, everyone, for turning up.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are located in the world. Please continue to stay blessed, and we will see you later. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.